All right, everybody. This is the Mixed In Podcast, and we have some guests with us. Who do we have with us here, William?
All right, so we got Jesus Martinez.
How's it going?
Hey, Jesus. And we also have Cody Lee.
What's up, guys?
All right.
So today's podcast, we're going to be talking about three topics. One topic will be on ghosts. So we'll be talking about our experiences with ghosts. I'm going to get closer to my microphone. We're going to be talking about our experiences with ghosts.
And then we're also going to talk about aliens.
And aliens. Our experience with aliens.
And our lack of experience with aliens.
Yes. And
so to speak.
Then I guess we'll also be talking about the Mandela Effect.
Yeah. It's kind of new to me and everything. It's kind of just, wow, there's a lot going on with that. So let's talk about that for a while, too.
Yeah. So.
All right.
So let's go ahead and get into it. And I guess, which topic should we talk about first?
Let's talk about ghosts, maybe.
We talk about ghosts first?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So
I have a couple of stories that are not necessarily ghosts, but I think they're paranormal. But that's all I got.
Yeah.
What about you, William?
Nothing personal. I mean, the only thing I got with experience with it is like scary movies. Maybe us going out and doing our ghost hunting, and no, I guess that could be considered pretty weirdish. So if you actually watch one of our very first episodes that we recorded, we went ghost hunting at the old President's Elementary School.
And Cody was with us for that one.
Yeah, Cody was with us, and along with the other Cody. But the weird experience that we had for that we noticed right there and then is on my iPhone, or not my iPhone, but my phone I had at the time. We had an EMF detector, and it started going haywire. And
oh yeah,
Cody mentioned, well, it's probably because it's next to the other phone, but the other phone that we had that had the same exact app, nothing was happening. And yeah, on that phone there was nothing going on with EMS. On my phone it was just going crazy, and it wasn't because they were close to each other, because we put them close to each other, we took them apart, and nothing. And that was just weird.
Yeah,
it was very weird.
Yeah, Cody was with us on that. He was there, and I remember that while he was asking questions for any ghost there, it was during that we got electromagnetic phenomena happening. We got answers.
Yeah, we got some good audio off that one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was really excited about that one.
Yeah, it's like because we didn't hear it at the time, but afterwards when we were listening to it, and we got really close to it, then we could actually kind of make out some words that were going on. Yeah. It was weird. That's pretty much the extent of my experience with ghosts, though.
Yeah, and well, when I was young, it wasn't really ghosts, but some people would say it was spiritual or whatever. But I used to see through the corner of my eye as I would pass a hallway, I would see like a really long, slender, shadowy, slender man go from one door through the hallway into another door, like really, really quick. Only like peripheral vision stuff. Like, did I just see that kind of a thing? You know, and that's for about a year I saw something like that, and that's the only like thing that I think I saw. You know.
Yeah.
How about you, Jesus? Have you ever had a ghostly experience?
Oh yeah. Well, it's an experience of mine actually. That experience. We used to live in an apartment back when I lived in Texas. Upstairs, downstairs. Downstairs was like a barber shop, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And the upstairs was the apartment we lived in. And well, me and my family had went out that night. And well, the way I had my room set up, it was the bed, and then we had I had a metal bench at the end of it. And well, underneath the metal bench, I had like a rug, so the metal bench wouldn't slide across the floor.
How old were you at the time?
I'd have to be probably 9 or 10.
9 or 10, so you're fairly young.
Yeah, I was pretty young.
Yeah.
And well, when I was so we went out that night, and I had remembered.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had remembered I had just washed it and put it underneath the bench.
Yeah.
And so we went out, and I came back, and went into my room, stepped into my room, and I noticed that the rug was out from under the bench on top of the bench.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Was there anybody else in the house at the time?
Nobody. No, that's what I'm saying. My entire family. We went out. I think we went out to the movies or something like that.
That's weird.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, it was completely random, but I mean, to see something like that, you're just like, you know. And then, I know this may seem kind of. To me, I've seen a lot of movies, like, you know, like based on a true story. This.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're like the always based on true events.
Yeah.
Which is actually very, very vague. It's like, what happened during all this? Well, that one guy really did shit his pants. that's pretty much as close as the truth gets
yeah.
to
True.
it. But
Yeah. Well, that part's true.
yeah,
Yeah, but
that's kind of weird though. Like, so the rug was underneath the bench.
it was. I had put it on the ground,
Yeah.
bench on top of it,
Yeah, bench on top of it,
and then when I came back, the
Yeah.
rug had been
moved.
and it was on top of the bench,
on top of the
folded, by the way.
Oh, it was folded.
Wow.
Well, Lisa was a kind ghost.
Yeah. Apparently, right?
It was
He wants to
tidying
fold
for
my
you.
clothes, you know?
Yeah, it's like, that's cool, man, but that rug was there for a reason.
Be like, dude, if you're going to do that, just fold my clothes for me,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, they're just sitting here on the bed. I mean, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
Was that your only experience?
That was my only actual, like, paranormal experience.
Paranormal experience,
But
yeah.
as far as, like, I don't know if anybody's heard about it, but I don't know, like I said, I don't know how much flack you're going to hold from it, but there's also the story, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard about it, about there was a school bus back down in Texas, actually. It's in Texas, full of children. And well, apparently the bus had died on the railroad tracks. Like it had, like, you know, I guess.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
So.
And there was a train coming.
Yeah.
And the entire
Everybody died.
everybody died.
Yeah, they got hit by the train.
Yeah,
died.
and so pretty much like so, you know, people say, I don't know, like I said, how much flack this holds, but
Yeah.
people say that if you were to drive your car over the train tracks and kind of just turn it off and let it sit there in neutral, or
Yeah, you just
some people would test it and they would put, like, I guess, flour or baby powder
Yeah.
on the back or whatever, and then
But the car would get pushed
it would
off the
be
track.
pushed off the track.
Yeah,
I
and
heard about that,
they tried it with the baby flower, and they would go back and they would see all these little handprints
Yeah.
on the back of the
Yeah.
vehicle.
So, saying that,
Yeah.
you know, these kids are trying to.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Have you
help
tried that
people out.
personally yourself, or?
I have not.
Where's this at?
This is in Texas.
Oh, it's in Texas. Okay. Have you ever been to the site before?
I think we've passed over it once, but I've never actually, unfortunately, never really tested it myself. Like I said,
Yeah.
I don't know how much.
Yeah.
Some people I know, you know, they'll look at it skeptically and be like, oh, well, that's just
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Well, I don't know if it's the same thing, but I heard I watched some other documentary on that where it's this road, and if you park on the road and you put your car in neutral, all of a sudden your car starts going uphill.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Actually, I think
Is
I
that the
remember
same
seeing that
thing?
same thing. Yeah.
So, but they debunked that because they actually had, what are they called when people go there with their little equipment and they survey the area?
Oh yeah.
But
It appears that
Yes.
it's level, but it's not.
yeah, so yeah, because you look at it and you think that the car is going uphill because they videotaped it, and it's like, yeah, it looks like it's going uphill.
Yeah.
But that's just the way the trees and everything is positioned. It looks that way, but honestly, you're actually
There's all
gonna
kinds
be
of
down.
things
Yeah.
besides the trees, but just
I
just
think I remember seeing
huge
the same thing.
optical
Yeah.
illusion. You know that
Yeah.
you really.
Yeah.
It's
So-
pretty amazing.
I don't know if that's the same thing or not.
God.
But yeah. What about you, Cody?
Yeah, I've had a few experiences.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually was at my grandma's house down in Polsbo.
Yeah.
That was pretty creepy. So what happened was, staying the night. This old, she the way she lays out her rooms, it's pretty like scary. Like one room was full of dolls, you know, porcelain old dolls, and then this room I was staying in was like, you know, an old antique dresser and an old antique mirror. So, you know, it's kind of scary right off
Yeah.
the bat. And this old picture that's hanging up. Anyways, we were staying the night. My lamp, actually, it was one of those like electronic knobs,
Mhm.
but the lamp actually turned off and on. Like
Oh.
Yeah, it turned off. I turned it back on. I'm like, okay, well, that was weird.
I mean, kind of, you actually have to turn the
Yeah,
turn
it
the
was one of
switch.
those knobs ones, and then
Yeah.
it turned off again twice.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is it the
so
ones that you actually have to click one way then the other way, or is it one you just constantly click in one?
It's like it's like a dimmer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dimmer.
Yeah. So it was on, and then it
Yeah.
would just off.
So it would actually go the opposite way.
Wow.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would
That
actually
is-
have to like grab it.
That's weird.
Yeah. But later that night, I actually woke up in the middle of the night to a figure sitting at the end of the bed.
Whoa.
Like it was a black figure just standing over me.
Yeah.
And I remember because I came that morning, I came to you guys. I'm like, I saw some fucking, like some weird. And
Yeah.
everyone was like, oh, you're like crazy.
Okay.
But
Well, we have to say that this podcast is now explicit. There are cuss words in it. Thank you,
Oh, yeah,
Cody.
sorry about that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah. There's only one thing I have to say about that.
But yeah, that was my experience. It was pretty
I can't hear
freaky.
it. Did hear it.
Dude.
Yeah. That one you have to like put the volume on full
Okay.
blast in order to hear
You
him.
have got to be kidding.
Okay. Back to my other sound effects. So was that the only thing that weirdly happened to you? Is the lamp thing and the strange figure?
Yeah, actually, me and my friend had played with a Ouija board. I've only used a Ouija board once. Never touched it after that.
Those things
Yeah.
are dangerous,
Yeah,
man.
it's- never.
Well, my brothers played with one once, and they said apparently you have to have a male and a female
Oh,
using
okay.
it, right? And so my brother's girlfriend at the time was the only chick there, so she was always on it, and everybody else would get on it with her and crap like that. So I don't know if she was just screwing with us, or if it actually worked. But everything from what I could tell was, I don't know. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
There's that, but I believe that that's a dangerous thing to play with.
It is.
It opens doors, and I don't want to know. I don't want to see it. I don't want to do it.
It's unknown.
Mm-hmm.
It really
It's
is.
too
Yeah.
much unknown.
Yeah.
It really is.
And for some people, it is known. They know exactly how to use it. They know exactly what it does, and they do it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
that.
Crazy people.
Well, I know. So my brothers have told me about a couple of weird experiences with them. My brother John. Well, when we lived out in Navy housing in this area, apparently this house was haunted. There was always kind of weird shit happening. Like my brother Eric and I were at home once, and we were young. I was like maybe 8 or 9 or something like that, and we heard somebody out in the kitchen, pots and pans, just going at it, and we were like, "That's not right." My mom was in like taking a shower or something like that. So we're going just pounding on the door. It's like, "Mom, somebody broke in the house. Somebody broke in the house." Because, it was just going at it in the kitchen. And then, she comes out and she goes out there. Nobody in the house. Doors and everything's locked. Nobody was in the house. Now, whether or not there was actually stuff moved around, but we heard pots and pans. Then later on, my dad made us this big stick that was called the equalizer. We had that shit forever. That was cool. And then my brother John had an experience where he was laying down in his bed one night, and he woke up to somebody kind of like hitting his feet, trying to wake him up. Then, he probably thought it was like me or my brother Eric or whatnot. Then he, finally clicked in his head, everybody's at school. Then that's when he, started kicking towards this figure in front of him. Then he got up real quick, turned on the lights, and nobody was there.
Yeah.
So, and I think there was other occurrences too. My brother Robert had there or something like that. But that was a pretty freaky place. That is for sure.
That would be weird.
So,
Navy housing. Yeah.
yeah, very creepy. So, do we have anything else to talk about ghost wise?
Well, so we went ghost hunting, like a total of 3 times, and because one was at
Was
the
it 3
Manresa
times?
Castle.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But the first time at the school, so
Yeah.
we didn't see anything, but we heard that. And another time we went ghost hunting and we didn't catch anything at all. We went to the Rutgers tomb,
Mm-hmm.
and so we didn't see things, we didn't hear things there. But the lure for us to go and do that kind of stuff is there. I want to do some more, but sometimes I'm kind of afraid of what we might find. But I still want to do
Or what we might bring home.
it. Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring home a new friend that isn't very nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a possibility.
Start waking up with wedgies or wet willies.
What belly?
Yeah, there's actually two definitions for me that are wet willies when I wake up. And one of them I'm talking about is they're wet ear. So I just want to specify. All right. But yeah, I would still like to go out and do some more ghost hunting, regardless of the
that'd be
fact
cool.
if I believe in it or not.
Yeah.
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 And
So-
you know, so we got a bigger crew, so we can have a little bit more fun. You know, bring a few more toys, bring a few more cameras. So that'd
Yeah.
be really cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're on to the next subject,
Okay.
which is good. We spent 15 minutes on that. So the next subject is: should we talk about the Mandela Effect or aliens, or should we save aliens for last?
Save aliens for last.
Save
Let's
aliens
talk
for
about
last.
Mandela Effect.
Effect. All right,
Okay.
before we do that, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break.
All right.
And I guess what is that called? A word from our sponsors.
So stay tuned for a word from our sponsors.
All right. Do you want to meet us?
Benjamin's Instant Coffee. It's been in the family for generations. My father brewed it. My grandfather brewed it. That's pretty much that. It's not a long generation family thing. It's just it's been yeah, it's good. Benjamin's Instant Coffee for in the morning when you get that first sip. Wait a minute. Is that chocolate? What is, wait a minute. That's fecal matter. Martha! Martha, why does this taste like fecal matter? Well, I didn't put the two piles next to each other. Well, I wasn't even there. Benjamin's Instant Coffee. Home crafted for generations. Now in chocolate flavor.
You go and try out some Benjamin's Instant Chocolate or instant coffee. Now in chocolate flavor. Some good stuff, man. Some good stuff. Okay, so I guess we're going to talk about the Mandela Effect.
So, do you know anything about the Mandela Effect?
Let's go ahead and just say that nobody knows what the Mandela Effect is. That way our viewers out there that don't know what the Mandela Effect is get a quick reference on it. So
Okay. Well, from what I gather, the best way to describe it is there's a controversy going on that people say that they remember something a certain way, and they look at on media now or something, and it's either spelled different, looked different, or people remember it a different way, and they're calling this the Mandela Effect because of what's that president's name? Mr.
Mandela. Something Mandela.
God, what's his first name? What started
President Mandela.
what started that was that people thought that
Nelson.
Nelson. That they thought that he died in 1983, and so a lot of us remember hearing that and the funeral and everything, all kinds of memories about him dying in 1983. But then suddenly he dies in 2013, and it's like, well, wait a minute, he was already dead. But a lot of people just like, no, he wasn't. This is the first time, so people remember it two different ways. So if
You have got to be kidding.
It's still not loud enough.
so
You've got to be kidding.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
and so there's lately a phenomenon going on where people remember like the Ford logo looking a certain way, and you look at the Ford logo. If you Google the Ford logo right now, there's a little curly Q in the F, and a lot of people swear that they never saw a little curly Q, like a little piggly tail thing in the F ever. That's brand new. That is something of the Mandela Effect. Now, there's speculation on why the Mandela Effect is even happening, and I like some of the theories. I don't know anything like 100% if any of it is true, but I like this theory, and that is that it's very possible that there are multiple dimensions, and thanks to Google and their supercomputer that's actually doing quantum stuff, and also maybe that the quantum particle collider, that great big one, the large particle collider, that they might be messing around when they do that, and they do the quantum stuff. And so when that happens, the parallel universes, the universes that are close to us, they intertwine, and so a parallel universe might have had that Ford logo that way in that universe, and that logo didn't exist here, but suddenly, because of the Google computer, sometimes that universe dips into this one, and things look different. We still remember the old way, but we see this. Yeah. So that is the way I see the way the Mandela Effect is happening.
So basically, it's just two different universes touching each other, and
Some of it
sharing
sticks.
some
Yeah.
information, then going back, or maybe even touching each other and staying that way, and that's why we can still see it, because it hasn't gone away yet.
Kind of just like molding together.
Yeah. So they're like take picture two circles, and as the two circles collide with each other, there's that little area of gap where they actually become one.
Yeah.
That I don't know.
That's
That's
interesting.
weird. But anyways, that's the basics of what the Mandela Effect is. So let's start with Cody this time. Cody, have you ever experienced anything like that, where you remember something one way, only now to finally be told, well then no, it hasn't been that way. It's been this way the entire time.
I think I was talking to Chris about that. It was like maybe the box of cereal. I forgot, was it Lucky Charms or what was I?
Yeah, you said
A certain logo that changed, but I was debunking that actually.
Oh,
But I haven't actually.
Oh, Fruit Loops.
experienced
Was
that.
it
Yeah,
Fruit
Fruit
Loops?
Loops? Yeah, yeah.
So it's actually like fruit, except for now it's spelled FROOT or
Yeah,
something like that.
the picture on the letters was
Yeah.
they changed the letters. I forgot what they used to be,
I
but
think they were grapes, weren't they, or something like that?
I think what they did is it was spelled fruit correctly in the beginning, and then what they were trying to say is that they started spelling it with two O's,
O's
like
instead.
and using the Fruit Loops cereal as the
Yeah.
O's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I
The thing
remember.
of it
I'm
is,
actually
I remember
thinking of that
that.
now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember the two O's, the two Fruit Loops being the
Mhm.
O's.
yeah.
So, can I see the bottle opener?
Yeah.
I want to open a beer.
But
So-
yeah, I haven't actually experienced any of that because this is the first time I'm hearing of the Mandela Effect.
Yeah. Well, did you ever experience that without even knowing about the Mandela Effect, or did you all of a sudden somebody said something to you? Hey, remember when Fruit Loops used to be spelled as fruit and not with the two O's? Oh yeah. So that could just be somebody implanting something in your brain.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's always a possibility.
That would have been me.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Chris. He implants all kinds of things into me. That didn't come out right. All right, Jesus.
Personally, I can't really say that I have. I mean, honestly, it's an interesting concept. Honestly, it is a very interesting concept that some kind of, I guess, parallel universe.
Yeah.
You say, kind of spilling over into our own. It's an interesting concept because I mean, when you really think about it, I mean,
Things could be changing and you don't even know it, and
exactly.
then
I
all of a
mean-
sudden you'd be like,
hell, I mean, they're terrible, terrible thing to say, but I mean, there could be another William around here somewhere, and
That is quite
the
terrifying,
evil
isn't it?
William, the evil.
Oh, the evil
maybe,
William.
Maybe the
Okay.
evil William that he's been talking about in his
Yeah.
episodes.
well, that's what they
is
say
real.
doppelgangers are. They might be
Yeah.
that might be
Yeah.
from another universe.
I
or
think
something.
that's the reason why I can't grow a full beard. Because of that son of a bitch. It's taking it all up. I can't. I got patches, and so he had patches, but he was like, "Nope, only evil people can have beards, William." But
No, but
doppelgangers. That's kind of a weird
yeah,
concept.
But yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, the funny thing is that. Well, I'm actually. Me and Jess had a conversation about that the other day. About she looks at somebody from far away, and she says, "Oh, he kind of looks like him," but then she gets a little bit closer, and she's just like, "Oh, okay, that's not him."
Yeah.
It's just it's
Yeah.
just something that you
Mhm.
perceive one way, and you're just like, "That looks like somebody that I know," or "That looks like somebody," and then
Yeah.
your complete image just changes once you get
Yeah.
closer and closer to it.
Isn't doppelgangers coming into some kind of like demonic thing though?
Some
What,
people-
less of a alternate dimension, but more of like a demonic.
Some people put it in that category at first, but
Yeah.
it could be just something like a little bit more mundane, like what we're talking about with a Mandela Effect.
With the
Yeah.
alternate realities.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, there could be like he said.
Because like they say, you can't be in the same room as your doppelganger. There's this,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
like it's
yeah,
like
it's
black
some
dark
kind of
matter and good
causality.
matter. They can't be in the same room.
Yeah, no.
Or if like you see him, then all of a sudden it's the end of existence or something
Yeah.
like that. Or no, the two of you blow up or
Yeah,
become
it's-
non-existent or
it's
something like that.
Yeah, it's some kind of causality.
That actually,
It's,
that actually sounds a lot like what two parallel universes would do.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Because two positives, or
You can't.
Yeah.
They can't be in the same spot.
or is that two negatives can't equal?
Kind of like a magnet. They won't touch
Or
unless
they-
they
yeah.
go away.
Or like one's a negative, one's a positive. If you add them together, it makes 0.
Yeah.
Something like that. Shut up, Cody! Stop laughing at me. He's like,
Yeah.
"Wow, look at William. He's
Just-
trying to think."
just,
so
just let him
cute.
have his,
It's too complicated.
just let him have his moment.
That's so adorable. He's trying to come up with something. Oh no.
Dude, you gotta be kidding.
Oh yeah.
Don't they react though? When
huh?
you put two positives and they react.
If you put two positives next to each other, when you push two, like say for example,
just-
when you're pushing two
In
magnets
magnets, yeah.
against each other,
It doesn't work.
They bounce
They
off
retract.
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they retract.
See, yeah. I'm thinking way too
I don't
hard.
know.
But I'm saying if you were to put it into perspective, if you were to put it into perspective in that you know in that
All right. Anyways, Chris, what is your experience with what are we talking about now? Anyways, Mandela Effect. Or are we still talking about? Well,
we're talking about
The only thing is
doppelgangers.
Mandela Effect.
Yeah.
so Do you have any comments on the doppelgangers, Chris?
No, except for that I think that I saw one.
A doppelganger?
Yeah.
Like
yourself?
your doppelganger?
No, not mine.
Okay.
Oh,
But other people said they've seen mine too, which is weird. So, our old drummer Tim, we used to live in what we called the dungeon. It was the basement of this house, and we had the whole drum set and our amps and everything down there. It was awesome times. But what was really odd is that he drove to work. He had a truck and he would drive to work. But often people would see him get on a bus. Now, what's weird is that Tim had blonde hair. Even if he combed it, it never looked combed. And it was really scruffy. He didn't really do facial hair very much, just a little bit of a scruffy beard. And he wore a very specific, biker's leather jacket and torn up blue jeans. And so, I mean, he looked a certain way. And he was really kind of lanky and tall. So this guy that was getting on the bus was exactly like Tim, and I have seen him. So people said that they've seen him, and I was like, before I saw it, I was like, you guys are just seeing somebody that looks kind of like him, I'm sure. But then I saw him. It was like, no, it looked like a twin of Tim getting on this bus, but it wasn't, because
Yeah.
Tim doesn't take the bus. He was already at work. So,
Oh,
so at least I've seen one.
yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, it's all about perspective. I mean, you look at somebody.
I suppose if
it's
they're
like,
standing side by side, that it's just a guy that is
Well, yeah.
super coincidence that he
Yeah.
looks just like.
Yeah.
But
Or maybe there's.
maybe if they stand side by side, the universe will just explode.
Yeah.
Maybe
Is
it
this
really
a
that.
test? Is this something where we're willing to test?
I don't know. No,
Or
I don't
it
think
could
so.
be his twin brother that was separated at birth, because that's happened
okay.
before.
I guess that
and
is- could
lived
be a
right outside our house.
possibility.
Yeah. They lived in the same area,
Mm-hmm.
and they ended up seeing each other walking down the street one day. I was like, oh, that's weird. That's my twin. And then there's other ones that have seen each other on multimedia.
Yeah.
Hey, this person on this profile. I thought
Well,
this was
yeah.
your profile. That looks
Yeah.
just like you. Hey,
Well,
it
yeah,
does.
I've
No, that's
seen
my twin
that.
brother. or something like
I've
that.
seen that. I mean, you've seen that
So.
a lot. I mean,
But we're gonna go with the doppelganger on this.
Okay.
That's it. It's that's what it is. He's a
yeah,
doppelganger.
there you go.
Let's keep those two apart at all costs.
Yeah, because if they touch or see each other, then the universe is gone. That's
Yeah.
it.
So William and I did an experiment on YouTube about the Mandela Effect. So we might be able to see if the Mandela Effect will kick in. So there's a video, 2 videos out there that we did on our channel, and one is the Mandela Effect Camera A and Mandela Effect Camera B. Wow, this was my laboratories, and so if we're thinking that if the Mandela Effect happened, it might only alter one of the videos, maybe.
Yeah.
So everybody look at both videos and see if what we did, the way we spelled Mandela, if those things are different or the same way that we described, or at least compare camera B with camera A and see if something's different about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, at
It was
least we did something to try to debunk
Yeah.
it.
So it was pretty good. I think we had our experiment down kind of solid
Let's just hope
because of the way we
uh,
did it.
Let's just hope the parallel universe, you guys are doing the same thing.
Well, we should be.
Or
Hey, some people say that.
There's a possibility another universe that mixed in never happened.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
never joined, or
Or
I
you
ended
guys
up getting
never
married
met.
in Oak Harbor and never moved to Everett.
Yeah,
Who knows?
guys never met.
Yeah.
Like, it's a
So-
possibility. It's
Yeah.
always, if you really want to talk about parallel universes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, I
lot
could have
different.
never moved up here, so.
Yeah. So
It's always
Well, the thing with parallel universes is there's multiple.
yeah,
There's not just one
Yeah.
opposite.
But
there's
there-
several.
there could only be one that's merging with us right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the one that's really close.
Which means if that
yeah,
were-
Cody.
Which means if that were hold it to any grain of salt there, then it would probably be the one that is closest to us, to where you guys are doing this. And
We actually are doing the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So it wouldn't be that far off.
yeah.
Except for I am a hermaphrodite, and it's a secret, and I just let out my own secret from another universe.
So
Sorry,
other
William.
Universe.
Sorry, other universe, William. You son of a bitch. Oh, hold on a second, I got a thing for that. Stupid commercials. Actually, I should have used that when the two doppelgangers met. Yeah, I'm doing terrible on the sound effects right now.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I like these two together.
Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah. Can you imagine that team in the league, then all of a sudden looking down and doing that? What the
Oh man.
Okay, so on to the does anybody else have anything else to say about the Mandela Effect?
No.
Negatory.
Any questions?
No, sir.
You have no questions about
Nope.
it, Cody.
He's got it down. Okay, so what was the one that we skipped? Oh, aliens.
Aliens.
All right.
So now we're on to aliens. I think is the most plausible one out of all of the three, in my opinion. It's like ghosts. Okay, I can kind of see that happening. Okay, whatever. Mandela Effect. That's in the same realm of ghosts. But aliens, that's pretty high up there. There's a good chance that we've been visited by aliens.
Yeah, I strongly believe that that our government knows all about the aliens, and that we're friends with some of them, and we are enemies with some others, and I even believe that we've got a secret space force. That we got soldiers in spaceships already out there doing their thing. I mean,
That
it
would
could-
be pretty wicked.
It could be that far where we're expecting, some kind of trouble. And back here on Earth, we'll come back to Earth for a second. That I think that there's a lot more credible footage of strange things in the skies nowadays.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
Like there's a YouTube channel called Secure Team 10, and I think that his videos are he only puts up the ones that he really believes there isn't anything wrong with the video, that it's not a touched up video, it's not a fake. And sometimes it's not a whole lot to look at, but it's still something that's not explainable. It's not a plane, it's not a helicopter, it's not Venus. So if you check out that guy, I find his videos credible, because he actually is kind of, he'll look at the stuff and he'll go, well, I can't find anything wrong with it. It doesn't look fake to me. It doesn't, the people that commented on the video, like with texting to give it to him, said, this is what I saw, this is where I was, and all these kinds of things. It just seemed credible. So
Yeah.
I like to look at that and go, okay, so with all that evidence, that can't, since it isn't airplanes and it isn't helicopters and it isn't Venus, and so what else could it be? UFOs. But that is a 2-page story too. It could be the United States messing with really cool technology and trying to keep it a secret, or it's the aliens, spying on us where we can see them sometimes. There's that.
Those little perverts.
Yeah.
Damn voyeurs.
At least I'm not the only one. I don't feel bad when I cross the street and I have the. Never mind.
Now, when I was a kid,
Never mind.
I saw something that I couldn't explain when I was a kid. One time, I think I was around 11 years old, and I was just kicking back on a summer afternoon. I lived at Green Lake, and at that time, when I was a kid, the Goodyear blimp used to fly around, so we all knew what that looked like, even at night. It was really cool. But this one time, I was sitting there, and I was laying on my back with my arms behind my head, just kind of just looking at the clouds and stuff like that. And then I seen this thing that was like big as a blimp, but way too high to be a blimp. And also, I know that the blimp has these certain fins on the back and has the basket on the bottom, and sometimes it says Goodyear. Well, it doesn't sometimes. It says Goodyear on the side.
Yeah.
And this had nothing like that. This was kind of a golden color. And in a way, it kind of looked like one of those Norelco electric razors with the 3 circles on there to cut your hair.
Oh, yeah.
And it looked like that on the back of it. So it was rounded in the front, so it was slightly cigar-shaped, and then with the flat, what I would call the engine side. And it made no noise at all. And it was really, really high up there, but yet I could tell that it was big, And I could see the sun shine off of it too, so it was metallic. So that's the only thing that I saw that was unexplainable. It's like, that's not a blimp, that's not a helicopter, it's not a plane, it's not anything that I've ever seen before. So.
Does not compute.
I got that one. Don't laugh at that. That was a good one for that
I
point in
didn't say
time.
anything.
So okay. But that's pretty wicked.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
What about you guys? You guys have any kind of weird UFO, alien?
I personally, and if you want to ask my opinion,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah. Your true honest opinion. We will not judge you.
I'm not gonna say whether I do or do not believe in aliens, or whether or not we've been visited.
Are you unsure about that, or you just don't want to say?
I'm just unsure about.
You're just unsure about
It's
it.
just. I'm not
Yeah.
skeptical, but I'm not gonna say that I do either.
Yeah, I'm with you on the same boat
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I want a little bit more evidence. There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff out there that doesn't make any sense though.
Yeah, yeah.
And
No,
that's
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
strong
it's
evidence that
it is
something weird is
unexplainable.
out there.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily shout at me, hey,
And
this is
and
aliens.
like he said, it's a 2-page story. Either
Yeah.
it could be the government testing
Yeah.
some kind of untested, some fancy new tech or whatever, and,
Yeah.
And trying to keep it a secret.
exactly. And but I mean, but when you like, I guess the other day, my kids were having I guess they had some kind of experience apparently, where it was at nighttime and they were outside, kind of like just playing, doing their thing, and they looked up in the sky and they saw like a light in the sky, and at first, there's stars, whatever, and they were looking and looked at the light, and then they kind of just went about their business. They thought it was a star or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they looked back up, and the star light thing was in a completely different area of the sky. Like it kind of like zipped.
No, did it move all of a sudden, or they just looked up a little bit later and it was somewhere else?
They looked up and
they saw it zip across the sky.
They zipped across the sky. Like it looked like they I guess they were looking up, in the process of looking up, and it was moving.
Oh, it was moving. Okay,
across
that's a
the
little weird.
sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were kind of freaked out about it. Came down and they were just like, "Oh, well, we just saw something in the sky," and I'm just like, like I don't hold anything.
That's another
just
that's
kinda like-
that's hearsay. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it's not
if
really
you don't see
exact
it yourself,
proof.
if you don't say it, if you don't see it yourself, you're
Or-
just kind of like,
yeah.
you
Even then though, that's just a light in the sky.
yeah, exactly.
Is
It could have
that-
been a plane.
Is that
it could have been-
aliens?
yeah.
Is it U.S. government or is it the government?
Yeah, exactly.
Not necessarily
Yeah.
U.S. government, but is it the government or
Yeah,
what's going on?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Like he said, 2-page story.
Yeah,
It could
is
be
it-
either or.
But it is what it is though. It's a UFO. To them, that was an unidentified flying object.
Yeah, exactly. Which I don't discredit that.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
just, my beliefs on it is completely. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
If I see something, then I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna believe in it. Yeah.
Until I actually see with my own eyes
Then I'm just
a spaceship land on Earth and then something walk out of it that does not look humanish.
Yes.
Then I'll probably believe.
Exactly.
But until then, the rest of it is
It's
just weird
hearsay.
phenomena
Yeah,
that
it's
are going
just-
on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, William and I we have a couple episodes on YouTube. We call it Alien Breakdown.
Yeah.
And so what we did on that one was we were taking footage that we saw or that we've downloaded from YouTube that is supposedly are, YouTube depicting, flying saucers and stuff. And since we've messed around with CG, we thought, well, we're going to try our best to debunk things that we saw in there. So if anybody's curious, you can check out our Alien Breakdown.
Yeah, I think do we only do 2 of those so far?
Yeah, we did
We
2,
only
and,
did 2.
and I think we did an after hours. And
Yeah,
on
we did
one, but
after our thoughts about it.
I would like to
Yeah.
do more of those. We find footage that people have and see if we if we could tell that
Yeah.
it's been some CG added.
There's
stuff.
one a while ago. I got off the internet and I took the footage I found and I put it into the video editor and I looked at it and I have my opinions about that video now. We just got to actually make a video about it.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Cody? You got any opinions about aliens? Not necessarily any experiences, but what's your opinion about
I've
aliens?
never seen anything like what Chris has, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen any personally, but I do believe we can't be the only ones in the universe. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, what are the odds? But
Yeah.
Yeah. The universe is such a big place.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I believe that. I mean,
Well, like that
seen a
calculation
lot of
thing.
things.
I can't remember the name of the guy that did it, but he did that calculation about how many suns there are, how many pliable planets there should be, and how many chances and stuff like that. This big math problem, right?
Yeah, what is that name of that?
And he's calculated there has to be at least a bunch more
Oh yeah.
exactly.
life out there. It just according to math, it has to be.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. There's there's a famous name for that.
Yeah.
That equation.
Yeah. But for myself, I did have one weird experience. Did you want to hear about it, Jesus?
Depends on what it is.
Oh, okay, never mind. So, not too long ago, maybe a year, 2 years ago, it's back when I lived in my old apartment. And I was going to sleep one night, and I was laying there in my bed on my back, which is really weird. I usually sleep on my belly, but that's a whole nother
Belly.
story. On my belly. Anyways, I was laying there on my back, and I was like half asleep, but not quite asleep yet. Where you're like in that moment, and you're just ready to pass out. Next thing I know, I feel this really strange metallic thing hit my forehead. Like I don't know why, but I know that it was a metallic thing that hit my forehead. And then when I felt that, and I felt a little bit of pressure on my forehead, or not my forehead, what is this? My temple. When I felt that pressure there, I couldn't move. Like I couldn't move. Then all of a sudden, I finally struggled out of it, and I kind of looked around and whatnot, and my TV was still on, and I don't think there was any time loss or nothing. It was just a weird experience. I don't know if it was because I was actually kind of asleep at that point in time where I was dreaming something, or if something strange really did happen to me.
Was that like lucid dreaming? Lucid?
Something
Yeah.
strange happened to you, and
Yeah.
you were probably sexually molested as well. You were levitated and brought aboard a spaceship, and they did scientific experiments on your.
Did
Well,
you-
they at least could have told me about it. Wrote a card, sent a birthday gift, something.
Maybe
I mean,
dinner.
come on, yeah.
Thank you gift.
At least give me $5 for what is that? Taxi money, I guess. I don't know. Well, they didn't leave me up there, so that's a good thing.
They brought you back.
Yeah, here's $10. I was like, well, what am I really gonna find a taxi way up here? Really? Thanks a lot, you guys. I feel used. But that was my weird experience. I can't say whether or not it was
That is
alien
very strange.
or
Yeah.
whatnot, but it was just a weird feeling to me.
Well, that would
Yeah.
be weird. Yeah. You feel paralyzed.
Yeah, because I
Well-
felt that pressure on the side of my temple,
Yeah,
and
it's
I
weird.
couldn't move. Like I wanted so badly to look over and
I mean,
look up and see.
That
what
doesn't
the heck
happen in
was
real
there.
life. You can push right there all you want. I can still
Yeah.
move my feet.
Yeah.
So.
But I totally felt the pressure of something hitting
Yeah.
me right here. It was weird.
Strange.
So
That
yeah,
is strange.
there's mine. And with my beliefs about aliens, it's about the same as Jesus. I want to believe, but I need more proof.
Exactly.
Which is
that.
weird because there's so much out there on the internet, and we don't have concrete
Exactly.
that's it. That's an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have evidence like that.
Well, I believe that the government is prepping us for all that kind of stuff. So I think that they want to show us all of these things that are
Plausible.
fakey, yeah, and so that we're not really surprised when we get to hear that the aliens are here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it for the show today. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Jesus,
No problem.
Cody, for joining us.
Yeah,
It
anytime.
was a blast.
I
So-
love it when we get guests. We
Yeah.
do this by ourselves often, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We
Hey.
got actually more people to talk to about it.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah,
Fun
a lot of
stuff.
fun.
thank you for coming on our podcast.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be doing some more of these. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
So let us
Sweet.
know in the comments below if you liked this podcast, and what are your opinions, and let us know if you've seen any aliens, what you think about the Mandela Effect, and what do you think if you've seen any ghosts. Let us know.
Yeah.
And so we'll tune in next time, and be sure to subscribe and
Subscribe.
Hit that
Go,
like
guys.
button
And
Yeah.
like and share.
and share.
Yes.
Share to your friends.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Thank you, Jesus.
all right. So we'll see you next time.
Later.
See ya.